The Zephyrian War Council had been in session for 3 rotations, their crystalline forms humming with satisfied resonance as they reviewed the tactical displays. Admiral Kethvar's 6 eyes gleamed as he gestured toward the holographic battlefield with one of his 4 arms. "The Terran vessel approaches our blockade line," he announced to the assembled commanders. "Their primitive technology suggests this will be concluded within 1 solar cycle." The other council members clicked their approval. The humans had been an amusing curiosity when first discovered. Bipedal creatures with soft flesh, limited sensory organs, and technology centuries behind Zephyrian standards. Their single ship, detected on long-range sensors 3 days prior, appeared to be nothing more than a scouting vessel that had wandered too far from their home system. "Shall we offer them the standard surrender terms?" asked Commander Yithal, her voice carrying the subtle harmonics that indicated mild amusement. Admiral Kethvar considered this briefly. The Zephyrian Empire had conquered 47 star systems using the same methodical approach. Overwhelming technological superiority, precise tactical execution, and the inevitable capitulation of inferior species. Not once had they faced meaningful resistance. "No," he decided. "Let this serve as a demonstration to any other primitive species who might consider opposing us. Full assault formation. We end this quickly." The human vessel, designated as Defiance by their crude communication arrays, maintained its approach vector despite the massive Zephyrian fleet arrayed before it. 17 capital ships, each the size of a small moon, bristled with weapons capable of cracking planets. Fighter squadrons numbering in the thousands swarmed between them like metallic insects. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Defiance, her hands steady on the command console as she watched the enemy formation. Behind her, the crew worked with quiet efficiency, their faces showing the kind of calm determination that came from knowing the odds and choosing to fight anyway. "Ma'am," called out Lieutenant Rodriguez from the communications station. "We're receiving a transmission from the lead enemy vessel. It's laughter." Chen's jaw tightened. The Zephyrians had been broadcasting their amusement for the past hour, apparently finding the human approach so ridiculous that they felt compelled to share their entertainment with the galaxy. Long range. Sensors indicated similar laughter coming from Zephyrian colonies across 3 systems. "Let them laugh," Chen said quietly. "Weapon status?" "All systems green, Captain. The new plasma torpedoes are loaded and ready." "Engineering?" "Fusion cores running at optimal efficiency. The modifications to our shield matrix are holding steady." Chen nodded. The Defiance was humanity's first true warship, built not from superior technology but from superior understanding of what war actually meant. While the Zephyrians had spent centuries perfecting weapons designed to force quick surrenders from intimidated opponents, humans had spent millennia learning how to kill each other in increasingly creative ways. "They're moving into attack formation," reported the tactical officer. 17 capital ships, approximately 4,000 fighters. They're not even bothering with evasive maneuvers. "Why would they?" Chen observed. "They've never needed to." The Zephyrian fleet advanced with textbook precision, their formation a perfect geometric arrangement that maximized firepower while maintaining defensive integrity. It was the same formation that had conquered worlds, the same tactics that had never failed. Admiral Kethvar watched with satisfaction as his fleet closed the distance. The human vessel continued its suicidal approach, making no attempt to flee or request mercy. Perhaps their primitive minds couldn't comprehend the futility of their situation. "Fire when in optimal range," he commanded. The first salvo from the Zephyrian fleet was devastating, a coordinated barrage of energy weapons that would have vaporized any ship in their previous campaigns. The beam struck the Defiance dead, center enveloping it in a brilliant explosion that temporarily blinded their sensors. When the light faded, the human ship was still there. "Impossible," breathed Commander Yithal. "Nothing could have survived that barrage." Admiral Kethvar's crystalline form darkened with confusion. "Sensors, report." "The human vessel shows minimal damage, Admiral. Their shields appear to be adapting to our weapon frequencies." What the Zephyrians couldn't understand was that human shields weren't designed to simply absorb energy. They were designed to learn from it. Each impact provided data. Each attack revealed weaknesses to be exploited. Where Zephyrian technology focused on overwhelming power, human technology focused on adaptation and improvement. "Return fire," Captain Chen ordered calmly. The Defiance's response was immediate and precise. Instead of the wide dispersal energy, weapons favored by most species, humans had developed focused plasma torpedoes that could punch through energy shields like bullets through paper. The lead Zephyrian capital ship, built to withstand conventional attacks, simply cracked open like an egg. The explosion sent shockwaves through the enemy formation, but more importantly, it sent shockwaves through their understanding of warfare. For the first time in their conquest of the galaxy, the Zephyrians faced an opponent who had studied them, learned from their tactics, and prepared specifically to counter their strengths. How? Admiral Kethavar's voice had lost all traces of amusement. How did they know exactly where to target our primary reactor? What he didn't realize was that humans had been watching Zephyrian conquests for months, through captured transmissions and refugee reports. Every battle had been analyzed, every ship design studied, every tactical formation dissected by human military engineers who understood that the first rule of warfare was to know your enemy better than they knew themselves. The battle that followed wasn't the quick demonstration of superiority that Admiral Kethavar had planned. The Defiance moved through the Zephyrian formation like a predator among prey, its weapons finding weak points that shouldn't have existed, its defenses adapting to attacks that should have been devastating. Zephyrian fighters, designed for intimidation rather than actual combat, found themselves outmaneuvered by human defensive systems that tracked dozens of targets simultaneously. Capital ships, built to destroy planets rather than fight maneuverable opponents, struggled to bring their massive weapons to bear on a target that refused to stay still. Within 2 hours, the mighty Zephyrian fleet was reduced to scattered debris and emergency beacons. Captain Chen stood amid the wreckage of her enemies and opened a communication channel to the surviving Zephyrian vessels. "This is Captain Sarah, Chen of the Terran Defense Force," she said, her voice carrying across the star system. "You called this a war you couldn't lose. You were wrong. Humans don't fight wars we can't win. We change the rules until we can." The message reached Zephyrian colonies across 3 systems, replacing their laughter with something they had never experienced before: fear. For the first time in their history, the Zephyrians realized that there were species in the galaxy who didn't fight to conquer. They fought to survive. And nothing in the universe was more dangerous than a human with their back against the wall,